Hi, welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for stopping by today. My name's Laura and I'm really glad that you're here. If you're brand new here, thanks for stopping by. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. Now, you might be wondering that these clothes look a little familiar. If you've been here before, they are. These are from my first stitch kits. And if you'd like to go see that video, I will put a link up here and I'll also put a link in the description down below so you can check that out. Again, welcome. Today we're going to talk about DVC and our first buying experience. So if you love DVC, then you are going to want to stick around. I hope you're ready. Here we go. Just a little bit of background information. I was not a fan of timeshares. So I grew up with my parents actually owning a timeshare, not with Disney, but through a different company. And at first it was really great. We always knew every other year we were gonna get to go on vacation. That was fun and exciting, and it had a great pool. But then as the years progressed, the facilities got kind of run down. It wasn't very great. And there came a time where my parents really wanted to sell it, and they could not. They just couldn't sell it. Nobody wanted to buy it. And that always really scared me. I never wanted to buy into a timeshare and be obligated by it. Timeshares are a way to ensure vacations. I never wanted to be stuck. I never wanted to be in a financial situation that I couldn't get out of. It just was really scary to me. So I was always very anti-timeshare. That was like a no-go. And then I bought DVC. That was because Disney Vacation Club is really different than other timeshare programs. For one, there really is value in it. People want to vacation at Disney. There are all kinds of sites where you can rent out your points, or there's a huge market for selling your DVC points if you no longer want to use them or can't afford to have them. So that was really comforting. Even though it is a timeshare program, it holds its value. People want to buy into DVC, or at the very minimum, they want to use those points to save a little bit of money on their accommodations. I felt really comfortable buying into that. I mean, because it is a large initial financial responsibility. That idea that there was value, that it holds its value, that we could sell if we really needed to, or we could rent out our points and at least break even and it not be a financial burden. That was really, really comforting to me and made me very much more willing to buy into a timeshare. So I wouldn't normally recommend timeshares, but Disney Vacation Club really is very different than a lot of others. So as I said in the introduction, we're going to talk about our DVC buying experience. I was going to do a different video, one about how the best time to use your DVC points at Copper Creek would be, because I wrote a blog post about that, and if you'd like to check that out, I'll put that link in the description down below as well, so you could check that out also. But I decided that since I'd already written a blog post about that, I wouldn't do a video about this. Instead, I decided that I would start at the very beginning of our DVC experience, which would be when we first went and started to hear the pitch of buying into DVC. We actually sat through the timeshare spiel twice. The first time was in the spring or the fall of 2016. I believe we were on vacation and they were giving away, like, I want to say a $100 gift card. Now, we didn't just do it for the free money, although that was pretty nice. We were really interested, but we didn't think we'd actually buy in. So when we first sat through that first experience, it was actually really nice. It wasn't bad. It wasn't too salesy. It wasn't very pushy. It felt very genuine, which if you've sat through any timeshare promotion before, it feels pretty pushy. The sales agents really are trying to make sales, and maybe they do believe in the product selling, but it didn't really feel like it. But the DVC experience was very, very different. It was much more relaxed, much more laid back, and overall it was just nice. It was very informative, and they explained everything really, really well. So our first experience was really good. When it came down to it though, we were interested in it, but financially we knew we probably couldn't swing it then. That's true. When we first bought, they were selling, I believe, the Poly and Copper Creek. They might have been selling Alani as well. We were looking into buying the Polynesian. And at that time, again, we just couldn't afford to go ahead and buy into DVC. So we said no. Fast forward a couple years later, in the fall of 2018, we decided to sit through one again. Again, they were having a promotion where you got a gift card, which was nice because we knew we were going to be at Disney anyway. So we got a gift card, and then they gave us fast passes, but that might have been because we, spoiler alert, bought into DVC. So the fall of 2018, we went to Copper Creek and we spoke with a different representative. Now, the representative between our first experience and our second one, it was about the same. It was very casual, very informative, really laid back, and not like sales pushy at all. So it was also a really nice experience. And since we had already sat through one of those timeshare promotions before, our sales representatives asked us if we wanted to hear the whole thing again, or if we kind of just wanted to dive in and go ahead and start talking about why we didn't buy the first time and what made this time different. So that's actually what we did. We didn't need to go through the whole promotional stuff. We knew about it, and we were really looking into purchasing DVC. When we first were talking with our representative, we were looking at buying into, I think our choices were Copper Creek or Alani. I believe the Poly was pretty much sold out at that point, and they were not selling the Riviera yet. I'm actually thinking about doing a separate video where I talk about all the things that they don't tell you in these promotional sit-down chats with representatives, because there were a lot of things that I did not know about, and I would have done things a little bit differently. So if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead in the comment section down below, because I would love to hear what you think. If you felt like you knew everything right up front, or if there were things that you wish you had known and maybe would have done different. So I would love to hear from you and see what you guys' thoughts are. But anyways, those were our two buying options. And we love Wilderness Lodge. So of course, that's the one that we were going to purchase into. We were obviously going to buy into Copper Creek. And I'm really glad that we went with Copper Creek versus Alani. And again, I think in that video, I will talk more about why I'm really glad we did that. So a little sneak peek for you. When we sat down with our representative the second time, we went ahead and decided that we were ready to purchase into DVC. At the time, I believe for your minimum purchase point value for that resort to be your home resort was 75 points. So we were talking and we decided that we would just go with that bare minimum and buy 75 points. And I remember at the time I was like, I guess I'll settle for 75 points. I felt really bad because I couldn't believe that there I was thinking that buying 75 points was settling. But the reason I felt that way is because I knew that 75 points limited you on how often you could go. But we decided to do 75 points and we signed paperwork and all of that. But then later on, maybe a couple of days later, we were actually discussing it and we decided to buy 175 points. At the time, I was over the moon. I thought, oh my goodness, 175 points. We would be able to do so much with that. And you really can, as I would find out later on, you can, but you can't. But 175 points is a lot. And we went with 175 because, first of all, we wanted at least 75 to make that threshold of Copper Creek being our home resort, but then they were also doing a promotion where certain increments of point value, you got more money off. So 175 points was the bare minimum to get that top level of discount. I'll put a picture in. They're doing the same kind of promotion right now for Alani and Riviera. So I'll put that picture in here so you can see what I'm talking about. So we bought 175 points to get that discounted value. So we got more for our money, which was really nice. So to recap, I was not a fan of timeshares, but we ended up buying into DVC. We bought in DVC in the fall of 2018, and we bought into Copper Creek Villas. We purchased 175 points, and we were able to use those points the following year in 2019, and we took so many vacations. It was incredible. So because we bought in the fall, our use year was June, so we got June points from 2018, and then we were able to use them. We could have used them right away, but we didn't, and then we started vacationing in 2019. So we were able to use those 2018 and 2019 points, so it's like we had double the points. So we were able to take 5 different vacations, and that was incredible. We were able to do a spring break trip. We did a couple of trips on cash stay in June and July. We also did a birthday trip for Ben in July. So we actually went on 2 vacations in July. And then we did a fall break trip with my parent-in-laws, and we were able to splurge and get a 2-bedroom at Kidani. So we were able to do a lot with our points, and that was really incredible. It felt really, really good to be able to take so many different vacations and so many different types of vacations. If your family is really thinking about buying into DVC, you really should go sit through one of those promotional things. Like I said, it's very informative. It's not salesy or pushy. It's really very laid back and relaxed. So if you're genuinely wondering about it, go do that. I mean, it takes up maybe a couple of hours. Our experience, for one, we got ice cream after one of them, and we got Rice Krispie treats. So they do give you snacks. So, you know, if you're curious, go ahead and do it. Register for it. It's not an unenjoyable experience, and you get a lot of really good information, and they're able to answer any questions that you have. So I really do recommend that you try that out. It is not an overwhelming experience at all. So if you have any questions that I might be able to answer, go ahead and leave them in the comments below so we can kind of chat about it. And like I said, I might not know the information, but I might be able to provide some, and I definitely could direct you to where to go to get your questions answered. I hope you found this video enjoyable and informative, and I would love for you to comment any questions or any thoughts about it. Like, have you guys tried the DVC timeshares? Have you gone and listened to their promotion? Have you been thinking about it but aren't quite sure? I would love to hear from you. So if you would, go ahead and drop some comments down there, and I would love to talk with you. Like I said, I do plan on doing another video where I talk about things that they don't tell you in these promotions. So it's not like it's a bad experience. It's really very good. But there are a few things that I definitely would have done differently had I known this other information. So definitely stay tuned for that. And until next time, I hope you're living inspired.